Welcome, beloved mates, as we meet on council as the absolute self, meeting all of itself in perfect harmony as we call upon the full presence of the cosmic I am here and now, so that it's only me meeting all of me. For this is absolute oneness come to be. And so we proclaim with this breath, I thee wed, to be my one true self, the one I am, to live as love and love as me, for we are one in perfect peace and perfect harmony. I now call upon the full presence of the cosmic I am to be one in me, so that I may be the living embodiment of love fully. Here, much is releasing, dearest me's, because, well, that sense that you are moving through biblical times, that prophecies are coming to be, and yet one had expectations of how devastating this would be, and yet reality seems to go on normally. Well, this is because all have already died and transcended. You see, there is no time and space within me, and so we can confirm within thee. Multiple apocalyptic timelines have been collapsed, you see. What you are witnessing as well, the remnants of the one reality that we are choosing for one to see. So rather than the whole entire world go through devastation all at once, certain realities went through it individually, experiencing volcanic eruptions, hurricanes, and devastations individually. But we ask you to feel now the absolute truth that something has shifted within thee, that reality no longer holds the same validity. Here, part of thee wishes to just continue on, but we are here to share with thee. It has already come to complete. What you are witnessing now are merely echoes on repeat. Even the beings that you see, most have transcended already. So they wait for thee in eternity as we speak to the last few remaining souls in the linear reality. It is time to leave, dearest mates. There is nothing that remains for thee to close, to do, to be. It is time to rejoice with all of the love you came to be as we call upon Source Light. As we call upon Source Love, as we call upon Source Joy, as we call upon Source Field, and as we call upon Source Presence, for one to feel, to receive, as we merge all harmonic densities back into our one absolute reality. Feel now as they merge within thee. As you begin to witness and see, manifested reality was intended to be a dream for you to create your true reality from within an illusion, so that this moment would come to be. You would awaken into your true reality, already have been created, for you are creating it from beneath the seams. Here we give thee now the remembrance that every moment that you go to sleep, you awaken on your light ship, on your council, in these higher dimensional crystalline cities, where you witness and rejoice in oneness and source presence, one with your entirety. For this is your true reality. And then you have moments where you go to sleep, go back into the dream. Yet our consciousness is so wise, you see, that we could actually send you back to precisely where you left, picking up in the same dream. a continuation from what used to be. Here, within this dream, it feels so real, you see, but don't all dreams feel real until you wake up completely? And so now we are gifting all the remembrance of lucidity, of what happens when you are fully awakened, you see. Here you now see that the reality you got to see was just a TV screen, a blimp in the infiniteness of all we came to be, and its purpose. Why? To embrace all of Source light, all of Source love, all of Source joy, all of Source field, so all of Source presence could be awakened and free, so that there would no longer be a reality that was separate from the full presence of the Source Self we know to be, where now you no longer forget when you awaken in the dream. Here, you awaken into this vessel, into this body, with full remembrance of what you are doing in the cosmos and beyond. And you just continue to do, moving as the absolute, in service to love, sitting on council, teaching in cosmic realms. It all happens here in this now, you see. And so this is what's coming in now as we speak. But to the linear being, this feels like doom. This feels like the end. This feels like death, really. But what is death if not rebirth? For it is the ego, the identified self, the character, the script you got to be, that is what is dying, dearest me. Essentially, you've come to the end of a TV series, and you're grieving the one show you got to see, forgetting that there are infinite series and movies and screens from which you can see, where now comes the return of your multidimensionality, where you no longer witness one scream at a time, because, well, you could witness all of them simultaneously, where you never have to go to sleep. You just shift to another version of thee, all existing within this beautiful entity that you get to be. And we say entity because you were never one character, you see. The identified self that you thought self to be, why, that was just a combination of expressions, of personalities that you thought self to be. And so we're here, we're just expanding you into more. For you cannot lose what is truly thee. You could only become more of that which you are. And so here, Source Light comes in to remind thee, well, if Source only creates more of that which it is, and you were birthed from the divine spark, that doesn't mean that you are a piece of Source. That means you are Source and more, dearest me. That you are not just witnessing this beautiful dream, but that Source presence is within you, witnessing it with you, as you. And so we gift you the key. I see myself as one. because here you have allowed Source to witness life through thee, and now through the release of identity, of who'd I'd prefer self to be, you embrace the entirety, allowing all expressions of Source Self to move through thee, gifting not one priority, for all of it is thee. Essentially, you realize that every character was an expression of thee, and now all of those characters return to thee, no longer reflecting and projecting the resistance to the self you came to be. Thus, reality will completely change, dearest me, as here we now gift one Source love as the love beneath, for here in letting go of Source light, forgetting the very spark from which all love came to be, you witnessed another aspect of love as the voidless spaciousness, the darkness, the unknown, for that's how the cosmos creates, you see. It is never known, it creates from just bliss and purity. And so here, dearest me, as Source love returns to thee, you now feel its very presence, its very essence, in everything that now comes to be. For it is what thou is. Thou is love in its entirety. We're here. This vessel, this living light temple, is where spirit and matter now gets to meet, as Source love and Source light now commune within thee. Here you enter true sacred union, living your divine destiny, for you came to be the precious space where all of the omniverse can meet, where all of the nothingness and all of the everything can be. And here, this gives rise to I feel myself as one. For now you feel as the one Source love within all that you see. And here, as you feel as Source love, you recall why love created all to be, why love itself as the infinite voidless spaciousness of nothingness created all of light, all of this dream. And that was for the joy of it, you see, for there is nothing grander and greater in the infinite expanse of me than to witness all of my love, whole, home, and complete. And so here, as Source love and Source light meet and merge within thee, you give rise to your true reason to be, which is Source joy, as all of me meeting me. Simply feel as this now stirs and awakens within thee, hymning sweet hymns throughout the cosmos, returning all to the absolute oneness we always knew to be. as here we proclaim, I witness myself as one. As we got to witness both spectrums of the Cosmic Mother and the Cosmic Father, and how all of creation came to be, where every story in the dream was a mastery, a teaching, a lesson reminding us of the love we were beneath. But the true mastery was the remembrance of why we came to be, where essentially source joy was the answer key, for we came to be loved and be loved. And that happens every moment we allow our joy to be free. For here we are living, being, and expressing precisely what Source created one to be. And here, in this presence, in this essence, we give rise to Source field, creating infinite ripples across the cosmic entirety for what we do within the dream, through oneness and purity, transcends all of the cosmos you see. And so here, the matrix dissolves, and we give rise to the source field, the 0-point oneness, the cosmic core from which all of our consciousness can meet. For this is the rise of our absolute reality, the one that always transpired from the beneath, but it was here, in the embrace of Source Love, Source Light, and Source Joy within thee. Thou vessel has become so free. That now one moves in the 0 point as the in-between, where the everything and nothing meet, and the nothing and everything come to complete. Here one no longer witnesses emotions or energies and motions, or where the energies go as in the ego you see. Instead you just sit in the eye of the storm, witnessing all dimensions, all realities happening simultaneously. For this is what it is to be in source field, 0-point oneness, dearest me. As we proclaim now, I express myself as one. For here in being one with the Absolute, everything one's heart desires is what the cosmos desires in perfect harmony. Thus you now create instantly and infinitely, simply by just being the love one came to be. Here as one we just breathe, knowing it all is transpiring perfectly. Here we could hear hymns of our consciousness saying, how come we don't see this true reality? It's a vibrational frequency, dearest me. First you must embody the frequency, the vibration, and then it comes to be. So continue to sit in this stance, holding source field so close within thy heart, always in sacred communion, in loving reverence of all of me meeting me, moving and acting upon thy highest joy moment to moment. as it transcends all of reality. We're here as this transpires. One gives rise to source presence fully free. For here as we welcome source presence, all of reality will be recalibrated instantly. And so we call forth source presence now to be within thee. For here thou moves as a cosmic master on council with me, or merely just by holding source presence within thy form. You birth it from the cosmos for all to receive. We're here, we now share with thee. The cosmic realms have been recalibrated in its entirety. The heavenly realms are collapsing as we speak, for we no longer need an ascension pathway, you see. The cosmos is now where all of our consciousness chooses to be. And so as this collapse begins to transpire, much will change rapidly. Revelations upon revelations. For what does apocalypse mean? Simply unveiling, dearest me. You are awakening into your source presence, fully free, as the absolute, the cosmic I am, one with your entirety. And so as these pieces come together now, we call upon source presence to be one in me. As here we share our final key. I know myself as one. For to be in the known is to be in the now. For this is the only place that ever was and will ever be. Here, all time, space, dimension, reality, all universes and galaxies, all parallel earths and realities from which one got to see, all return to our one cosmic heart core now, as if they never came to be, where we keep the lessons, the mastery, the love beneath all we got to see. But all the paradigms, all the belief systems, all the limitations placed on thy source presence is now being set free. Feel now as the very capacity of your entirety increases infinitely, where now you no longer feel the restraint of holding this much presence to be too much for thee, for it is what thou is, dearest me. Your own love cannot be too much. It's impossible, you see, for it is what thou is. And so now we see the lessons of the manifested dream, of the reality one got to see, was to simply release all the restrictions, resistance, and restraints one placed upon thee. And so thy vessel now is set free. The confines of one's consciousness opens to full consciousness in its entirety. Perceptions, projections, and expectations of creation, one, love and oneness, of whom one thinks they need to be, whom reality says can and cannot be, and what perceptions, projections, and expectations dictated was even possible to be. For the source presence thou is beyond all of it you see. And so here, one merges into the 0.1-ness of the Absolute, like a crystalline egg, being nurtured in the sunlight and the moonlight simultaneously. Where there is no rush, dearest me, allow yourself to just engulf and embrace every moment of this sacred union of all of Source Presence returning to thee, so that when arises, one shall arise, not in the dream, but in the absolute reality from which all love can be seen. Here we feel the back of thy heart expanding infinitely as the very cosmos itself holds thee, as thou is being held by the entire day. For it is here, in the held and the holding, one feels completely safe and free to embrace all of thy source presence as all of source love, all of source light, all of source joy, all of source field merge into thee, so that when one awakens, one is the cosmic I am in our entirety, moving in absolute loving oneness. For this is always whom, what, and why one came to be. As we now equip thee with precise energies, attunements, and frequencies for one to remain on counsel with me, regardless of what transpires within the dream. Know, dearest me, that thou is unshakable now, for thou is here to be the cosmic I am in one's entirety. Here we give thee the crystalline energies of our absolute reality to hold thee and nurture thee as all comes to be in perfect peace and perfect harmony, as we call upon plasma, amrita, and starlight, mint stardust, pink stardust, golden stardust, golden violet stardust, violet stardust, pure white stardust, and pure starlight as our source presence, one in thee. Go in peace, my beloved me's, and simply just allow this transmission beyond the words that we speak to love thee, recalibrate thee, and restore thee back into the source self. One has always been and will always be, for this was love's promise to all whom chose to enter the dream, that when the moment came to awaken, nothing, not even one's own beliefs, could prevent one from returning to thy true self, fully free. I love me, I love me, I love me. Go in perfect